Hi, I'm Charlie, and this is Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders. Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders is available both as a podcast, wherever you get great podcasts, and on video on our YouTube channel, Cooking Secrets for Men. So today I'm pleased to have as my guest, DeShanda Williams Clark. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So DeShanda is the Senior VP Programs and Services for Pathfinders. And Pathfinders is one of Wisconsin's oldest and most effective nonprofits dealing with youth in crisis. You're on the Milwaukee Business Journal's list of the 40 under 40. Yes. And that's a list of the next generation of our emerging community leaders. So congratulations for being on that. It's a pretty cool thing. So we'll start where we usually start, at the beginning. So I know that you've been in Milwaukee a long time. You weren't born here, but I think you were like 2 or 3 when you moved here. Mm-hmm. So talk about your early years and how that helped shape the person that you've become.
Yeah, so I've spent majority of my life here. So even though I've spent majority of my life here, I still use the GPS to get everywhere. So my early years, I grew up in public school. I consider myself a military kid, even though I didn't travel a lot. But when I was born in Yuma. My dad was in the Air Force.
In where?
Yuma, Arizona.
Oh, Yuma, okay.
Mm-hmm. My dad retired from the Air Force, and then my mom's second marriage was my stepdad, who I spent majority of my life with. He was actually in the Army. He fought in Desert Storm. So was
there a conflict between Air Force and Army?
No, they got along pretty good. Surprisingly, I think my stepdad, being in the Army, they do feel like they're more tough, which is funny. I'm like, I don't know either way, because I didn't plan to go to the service. I didn't have a lot of plans to do much of anything. I wanted to dance because my mom was in Kothi, and so I would be with her. Kothi is the African dance group. Okay. And so I just wanted to follow in her footsteps, but also she worked really hard. So my mom and my stepdad, they were they worked in warehouses for like decades. They were consistent workers, and we always had good stability pretty much. And she always surrounded me around like adults. I feel like because I was a child that was more inward, more to myself, I would just like go and read, write, dance, draw. For many reasons, my mom always infused in me to just be a proud young lady, a proud Black young lady, and there was always adults. I think it was easy for adults to see something in me because I wasn't the type of kid that was like outside all the time. Right. So all of my cousins, they still say it to this day. They'll say like, we were all outside running around doing things, and we'd be like, why are you looking out the window? Because I don't want to get in trouble. I just want to, get through this childhood. And then I went to Samuel Morris Middle School. I went to Washington High School. And I think Washington High School was a big turn for me because it was the most accepting space for LGBTQ folks during the time when I was in high school. But I also had become a part of MSOE's Upward Bound, which is when I determined that I would go to college, because that was the track for first-generation low-income college students. And so they actually helped me to apply to I started at UW-Madison. So I had a full tuition scholarship to attend there. But yeah, I feel like my upbringing was a lot of folks saying like, I see something in you. You can do like great things, or things that are better than, some of what we've been able to accomplish. Not anyone at this time of me growing up had ever attended college or had a career really of their choosing. So, yeah. Good.
So, and then you went to college. So you said you started at Madison. Did you end up at UWM, Milwaukee, and got your bachelor's there, and you got your master's at Alverno.
Yes.
So, was there a plan after you graduated?
Well, so I think this is the first time I'm going to say something like this, because the
goodies.
Yeah, you're gonna say. I think that the plan was not mine. It's like God's plan. So when I started at UWM, I had already been in like the third or fourth year of college. because I come from Madison to UWM, and I had to get into the social welfare program right away. And so I was late getting into the program, and Pathfinders Milwaukee was late asking for an intern. And I remember my advisor, Katie Magnan, she was like one of the best ladies I've ever met. She said, well, both of you are late, so it's the perfect pairing. I went to Pathfinders. I met my longtime mentor, Joseph Stanley, and Sherry Daniels, and they basically were like, yeah, you're the first undergraduate intern in the drop-in center at Pathfinders. They had just opened a year before, and they were like, yeah, I think you got all the tools you need, because once you get started, you will see that there's a lot of relation and similarities to you and the young folks that you will be serving at Pathfinders. And just one thing that I skipped over when I was in MSOE Upper Bound, I did have some challenges there, and they actually signed me up to be a peer specialist at Walker's Point. So now years later, I'm going to Pathfinders, and I learned that Walker's Point is like a sister program to Pathfinders. They're long-term partners. They work together really well. They are the two youth-focused agencies that serve homeless young people in Milwaukee. So then I'm like, oh, I had to start like when I was 17 years old is what I felt like. But yeah, so then that got me into the drop-in center, and my goal had always been to like manage the drop-in center, because it was like the best space and service that I had ever witnessed or seen. I'd never heard of Pathfinders before getting there, and over time I started to learn, like, I want to be a therapist, I want to be a counselor, I want to be someone that can do advocacy at a more macro level. I want to, and then there were so many, I think the pivotal part for me was, there's so many young people coming in that were choosing to come in and identifying this as a safe space, and that the staff felt like family, and majority of them identified similar to me as Black. So I really felt motivated to kind of stick around and help these young people to reach stability and like work through their trauma, because they just felt so safe coming there, talking about some of the things that they were going through. And then in my journey into my master's program at Alverno was to increase my skills, enhance my skills. Also because sometimes this field has a way of saying you need more education, you need more credentials to be in leadership.
Right.
But we were able to change that a bit at Pathfinders. Like, what do you need to serve the community? Do you need a master's? But there are some skills that definitely helped me to get to where I am, going through both of those academic programs.
So you mentioned Pathfinders and UWM kind of converging at the same time. So you started at Pathfinders the first time, right around the time you were either getting into UWM or getting your degree from there.
Getting my
degree.
Yeah.
So talk about, and you kind of touched on it, but talk about your feelings about Pathfinders and how that kind of set the stage for some of the things that you wanted to accomplish later on.
Yeah. So I was an intern, then I was in AmeriCorps, and I left because they didn't have any full-time position.
Right.
Because I spent like 6 years working at Wendy's, and I love Wendy's actually. And then,
if I could eat a Frosty every day, I would be a happy man. But
and so so many young people trusted me. Like, first, they would say that I was a little hard sometimes, but they would, whenever I wasn't at work or I was unavailable, well, where are you at? We need you in the space. So Tim, our CEO, he offered me a youth organizer position, which then quickly transitioned to being a case manager. And then my dream job was transitioned to be a program manager. Now, when I was a case manager, I left because I was going for the program manager position, but you needed a master's to be a program manager for the drop-in center specifically. And so I left, and I did some service at child welfare through what is now WellPoint, but used to be called St. A. And I got some skills there, and I also noticed a pattern of youth aging out of the system or involved in the system that were accessing homeless services. So my experience was starting to build naturally around like, oh, there's a connection. Then I got called back to Pathfinders to be a program manager because I didn't need a master's anymore. Thankfully, I'm very grateful for that. And then I had spent some time doing program management, and we had a shift in culture administratively. As Tim had got more grounded in becoming the CEO, he had made some really significant changes so that our branding, our fund development, and our financial and our accounting pieces had more of a corporate type of process, which kind of helped as a nonprofit, because nonprofits are so prone to being in the red. They're so prone to being so reliant on funders and trying to fit into boxes. And Pathfinders has a culture of, let me tell you what youth are saying works for them. We like to elevate youth voices. We want to hear from them what services they want to see in their community, because that's what works. They're living it, so let's do that. And so we were able to create, under Tim's leadership, create an agency that was actually thriving. And then as those changes happened, I had proposed this kind of hierarchy of like directors. And so I was like, hey, as people are changing and shifting and transition, could you consider me to oversee more programs and more services? I'm ready. And he appreciated my proposal, and he took me on it. And then I'm able to now be a director and create these other director positions: directors of runaway and homeless youth services, director of supported housing, director of anti-violence services, and then we soon had a director of clinical services. And from that time, that kind of shifted. That was like a year or so. Then we got into the pandemic. And we stayed open, and we were working and doing and meeting, young people where they are in the community. And my great aunt, she owns Niamani Family Center, and she was thinking of retiring. So I started volunteering with her, and because I had during the pandemic, people were inside. Right. I was outside. I'm the work that I do does not allow me to be inside. Some of the work at Pathfinders is kind of slowing down because we had to minimize how many folks we were working with. Sure. So I was volunteering at Niamani, and she wanted me to come on full time. And I'm a loyal person, hence why I keep going back to Pathfinders. But also my family, I felt like they needed me. And so I did that for a year during the pandemic in 2021. And Tim reached out to me, and he offered me the senior vice president role. He was like, I feel like you're ready. He took me to Tupelo Honey because he knows I love food.
One of our
similar to you,
very nice restaurants here downtown.
Yes, downtown. I love Tupelo Honey. But yeah, similar to you, I'm a professional eater and an amateur cook. Good to know. And yeah, I took him up on the offer because I always whenever I've left, I did explain to him this is where I want to be. I want to serve at Pathfinders. I love the way we do the work. I love how we partner and share power with young people, and I love how we listen to what they feel like they need. Well,
you kind of touched on what I wanted to deal with, was that this Pathfinders has a magnetic pull with you, because you started as an intern, then you left. You came back and you left. You came back and you left. And now you're where you are as senior VP. So that obviously is an organization that you feel very strongly about, that you've put a lot of work into over the years, and you've ascended to a vice president position. So that's really cool. Yeah. So you are very involved in various volunteer and community activities, which is one of the reasons you landed on the 40 under 40 list. It's not just your day job, right, but it's the stuff, these passion projects you're involved with. You've got a myriad of those. So kind of talk about those things that are important to you and that you do.
Yeah, so one of the things that I'm involved in is Professional Dimensions. So Professional Dimensions is a professional women's group. We provide sponsorship and grants to community-based agencies in Milwaukee. So currently one of our highlighted agencies is Sherman Phoenix. So Sherman Phoenix developed out of the uprisings that happened during the pandemic around some community challenges challenges and law enforcement challenges, and trying to really bridge that gap and say, hey, this is something beautiful that can come out of some of the chaos that's happened in our community. So Professional Dimensions also has sponsored some of the work of Pathfinders, some of the work of some of the other places that I've served at, and I'm on their board. And so I have a really great admiration for their current CEO, Lauren Feaster. And so whatever she needs me to do to be a part of whatever she's doing, I'm there for it. And the other passion project is truly a passion project, because sometimes I'm a little stressed about it, is the LGBT Community Center, the Milwaukee LGBT Community Center. So I actually grew up sneaking out and going to hang out at Project Q, which is their youth drop-in center. But I also did my counseling hours in Project Q in 2019. And then as we got into the pandemic, when I had all that extra time, I also joined their board. I did take a break for probably in about 2022. Then I came back in 2023. And the reason why I took a break is because the LGBTQ spectrum is big, and there's a lot of people involved. Sure. And I already come from Black culture, and I'm already a woman. So there's a lot of intersecting challenges all the time with dealing with all the people and all the things, mostly because these are all marginalized, populations historically that are trying to like get some grounding and equity in this world, but also in this city. So I really am passionate about supporting and helping queer young people, young people of color, and more recently at the center, I've been really involved in hearing from the older adults that are in the LGBTQ community and learning from them, like what are some of the things that they need to be safe, to be connected, and to feel supported as well. And it's just a stark generational difference in working with the younger youth, my generation, because I'm a millennial, so we still got a lot of work to do. And then what we call the older adults that are a part of the LGBT Community Center. Well,
the work that you do in the community, I mean, you've only touched on part of it, so there's a lot of stuff that you do. So the 40 under 40 list, what I was curious about is, have you been able to interact with a lot of those people? Have you learned, met people from there that you didn't know? Yeah. And I'm sure there's people on the list that you certainly do know.
Yeah, there's so many people that I did know because of some of the work that I do in the community. But so you recently had Betty Hill on your show. I love Betty Hill, so she was someone new that I met. Ashley Smith, Marquela Ellison, who now we're building a friendship. She's over at Social X. They do these events in the community for professionals, professionals like millennials like myself, but anyone could come. And it's just really a good time, and there's just a lot of folks that are trying to bridge connection and get into the realm of serving young people, because we understand that it's cheaper to serve them now, and it makes more sense. They're going to be the adults in the future, and we're going to have to depend on them, and so we need to treat them well and make sure they have what they need. And then when I look at the previous 40 under 40 list, I'm like, oh, Lauren Feaster was on that list, Antoine. So there's Marcelia Nicholson. Actually, she was one of the people that did a recommendation for me. So it's
it's a great networking tool.
Yeah.
But it also it's your age, and not your age, but your generation that's going to be leading the city in the years to come. So it's great that you have a chance to meet each other, interact. For the people you don't know, get to meet them. One of the guys on the list, Zach Eisendrath, lives in our building, and he was telling me, well, I've met Betty Hill, I met this, people he did not know before. Right. So it's a great tool, and you are doing a good job with it and trying to become one of our, the next generation of leaders. So. Yeah. We call this serious people with serious jobs having a little fun, so we're having a little fun today. So I want to give you one of our aprons to put on so you don't get it looks like a starched army shirt that your stepdad is, Anyway.
He would love if I would iron, actually. But
I'm sure he would. What are we making today?
So today we are making taco salad, and we're making it the way that I grew up eating it. And it is a really quick meal because, again, I'm an amateur cook, or I'm a beginner cook actually, but a professional eater. But this is a meal that I was able to teach my daughter. So whenever I'm too tired or too busy, she will eat this, and she knows how to make it. And she'll ask me for it all the time. Like, if you're too tired, can we just eat taco salad? So yeah,
Good.
I hope you like it.
All right, so I'm sure I will. I've had about 50 of these shows so far, and I've yet to have a meal that wasn't delicious. So,
Okay.
We've done a little prep work, so give us a minute. We'll step back here to the kitchen, prepare it. I'll be right back. All right, so we're here in the kitchen. DeShanda's got some ground turkey here.
Yep.
We've heated a pan with some little oil in it. You can hear that sizzle.
Yep.
So we use ground turkey because it's healthier, doesn't have as much grease.
Yeah, it is healthier. Definitely doesn't have as much grease, so we don't necessarily have to drain it. But it's drier, so we would, as it cooks, we'll put a little water.
Yeah, it'll release a little bit of liquid, but it's not grease. It's
not, yep.
So the rule number one when cooking ground turkey is get all the pink out.
Get all the pink out. Let's chop it up.
Yep. So we got 2 pounds here because we got a few people we're going to be feeding, and this is probably about half of it's for DeShanda and myself, and then
seriously,
and then the other half I'll let the audience have a little bite.
It's interesting. Well, one is interesting. I'm on this show because the youth at Pathfinders, when I worked in a drop-in center, we have to cook for them.
Right.
And they know I can't cook. But they know I can cook taco salad. So even on the holidays, like Thanksgiving, Christmas, things like that, we host meals at Pathfinders. And they're like, DeShanda, make your taco salad. And sometimes I'll just only make it with sour cream, but when I first started out, I would only make it with cream cheese, and they would say, and make it with cream cheese. Don't just make it with sour cream. Like, do the whole thing that you do.
So the next step after we...
so we'll let that...
That's going to simmer.
Do a little simmer thing. And then we'll... All
right, so we're going to make a little dip that's going to go on top of the salad, or interspersed.
In between, on the top, around.
All right, so you got a brick of cream cheese, regular cream cheese, and this is
cheese and sour
16
cream.
ounces, a cup of, or 2 cups, that is.
Because you're going to be sleepy when you eat this.
All right, so a pretty simple set of ingredients.
Yep.
And then we've got a bunch of seasonings here, mostly taco seasoning. You can use just about any time. So we tried to get the cream cheese to room temperature. All right.
And then we just kind of start stirring it together.
All right.
Because we really want it to be this
Right, a little creamy
enough. Yep, consistency. So then when we layer it on.
Here, this is me helping.
Oh yeah. Make sure that doesn't stick.
You can see the liquid in there too. So that's not grease. It's just liquid from the turkey. Yeah. Still me helping. But DeShanda's doing the real work of.
Get a little workout in there.
It's Arms Day.
Arms Day.
Seasoning here.
Yep. Put a little.
So, this is the second one. So you already.
Yeah. So this is actually 1.5 we've used so far. We're now 2.
Me helping again.
A little more. This turkey meat is so light. And this is, how you trick people too that want to eat ground beef, just try to get it a little darker.
You can't tell the difference. Once you put the spices in, you can't tell the difference. So you might need a tad more. I'm not going to seasoning it here.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
All right, so I think we're looking pretty good here. So we'll finish up here. Then we're gonna put it together, and we'll move over to the putting together area. I guess that's what we call it.
I like that.
Be right back. Very technical cooking term. All right, so we have finished the meat, and we've got some various accoutrements. We've got some lettuce, it's cheese, green onions, that's chopped tomatoes back there, that's a corn salsa, pico, and there's the sauce that is, what's in the sauce?
Sour cream, cream cheese, and taco seasoning.
Very good. All right, so DeShanda's going to put this together, so we'll watch and see how it's done at the Pathfinders for...
So my mom always says start with the sauce because it'll kind of hold everything together.
Okay.
As we put it on here, especially.
Yeah, we have chips.
Yes.
Here's our chips. We'll get to them in a minute.
And then what we do here.
All right, so the next is a layer of the turkey meat we've cooked with the taco seasoning. So we've scaled this a little bit. You're probably cooking for more at Pathfinders, but this is probably not a weeknight dinner for you and your daughter.
No. So this, me and my daughter will eat this. We will eat
a pound of turkey each?
Yeah, we'll eat the pound of turkey because, you know, once you start eating it, you don't realize, like, that you've eaten a pound of turkey. Right. So that's one thing.
So what goes on next?
And then we'll do the cheese.
On top. Okay.
And then we like it cheesy. As we do, like, you know, tacos and things like that. It's like a similar thing.
So sauce, meat, cheese.
And then we'll do some layers here.
I got some chopped
lettuce.
That's iceberg lettuce that we shredded.
Yeah. Then we'll do some.
We got some
tomatoes.
Chopped tomatoes.
And then we'll do another layer.
Ooh. More sauce.
Yeah. And so that's why. So this will get a little messy. So that's why it's good for this to be a smooth consistency, because then you want to, you know, for people that bake cakes. So
a hand mixer or might have worked pretty good, or warmed it as you pointed at in the microwave. And so we're going to repeat. So it'll be another sauce, meat, cheese,
and then we'll go for our
another layer of our taco meat on top.
So we might as well just use all of this.
Might as well.
No food goes to waste. There we go. And then we will do, and then this time
we'll keep these on the table too in case anybody wants
extra. Sometimes people like to be a little extra. And some more cheese here. And then if you're, you know, serving at a event or something, like putting it in a pan keeps it, like, you know, together, and put some tomatoes on top. And then sometimes people like to use this extra sauce over here to add, just like these other toppings. It's looking good.
Looks delicious.
It's looking good.
I don't know. Certainly above good. Next step above good.
And honestly, you can like put this however you want. It's so interesting because sometimes when I go and pick and save, I see that they try to do an adaptive version of this, but it's nothing like making it in your home and like putting the types of toppings on there that you like.
Very customizable.
So, yes. Like sometimes people use olives.
There's a little pico going on now.
Put a little pico in the center here, you know, spice it up a little bit. And essentially you have taco salad.
There we go. All right, so this is what we will be eating, and we're going to sit down in just a minute and tell you how it tastes. All right, we're back. So, I'm really excited about this. So, DeShanda, tell us what we got here.
We have a taco salad made the way that I ate it growing up. We have a cream cheese, sour cream, and taco seasoning mix with some turkey meat and layers of cheese, lettuce, tomatoes, picos, and onions.
Yum. All right, so I'm going to pass it to you. You're the guest. Why don't you go ahead?
Right.
We've got some other things to put in. So we've got some, this is some corn salsa. This is some of the extra sauce because I'm sure I'm going to be wanting extra cheese. We got some guacamole.
It's a party.
And what I missed? Oh, the pico. little pico too.
There we go.
And thank you. Got it.
And
chips.
Doritos, which is usually a guest favorite, but sometimes people use corn chips, like what is it, tortilla chips?
Yeah, tortilla chips.
Yeah, like scoops. That's like a second favorite. People love scoops.
Oh yeah.
I just love cheese, and I probably shouldn't, but I love it.
All right. Thank you, man.
Chips.
All right, need some chips. Smell that. Ooh. And we're eating good in the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. We're not in Applebee's, though.
Not in Applebee's.
So
for sure.
I need some. We need a little guacamole here.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Put that on the side. A little more guacamole. And I need some of the corn salsa. Yum. Put that on. It's got a little cilantro in it, and looks like it's got a mango or something in it.
Yeah, there is. I think that is like a mango.
Maybe this is mango instead of not corn salsa. But
Yeah.
I'm going to eat it anyway. Mm-hmm. So, all right. You want some water?
Yes.
Hey,
We need
excuse
water.
me. I need some water. All right. A little water. All right. Napkin in my lap. Time to taste. So we have forks, but I think I'm going to use the
don't need them.
use the corn chips, the tortillas,
It's a party.
Doritos. It is.
Some people do. They'll crunch their chips in their mixture all together and eat it that way.
Yeah, sometimes I've seen it
Yeah.
as a bottom layer.
Yeah, I'm just
Then they
not
get
that
soggy.
classy. Yeah.
Sauce is great. Mm-hmm. Ties it all together.
Oh yeah. And
Yeah, this
some
is not
people-
corn sauce.
No, that's a fruity something. Some people too, like with their taco salad, they like it cooled or chilled. So some people might sit it in the fridge for a little while and eat it. Me, I like it. I'm a professional eater, so if it's good, it's good.
That's right.
I'm so glad I waited to eat.
Really good. Yeah, this is both my breakfast. The combination of all the flavors. Mm-hmm. It's really, really delicious. I mean, you got the meat,
Mm-hmm.
which is supposedly the main event, but we've got
It's really
lettuce, tomato, onions. Dinner. Is this breakfast or lunch?
brunch.
It's brunch, okay.
Millennials love brunch.
Like you're saying, it's so customizable. You can do anything you want. So you have the basic of whatever you want to do. So before you take another bite,
Oh yeah.
thank you for coming. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
It was a blast.
Thank you so much.
And yet your work in the community, your work at your fourth iteration of Pathfinders is to be lauded. I mean, you obviously have a huge passion for it, and you're also passionate about the city and working in the community, and it just shows in the way that you talk about the things you do. So thank you
Yeah.
so much for being one of our emerging community leaders.
Thank you so much. I love Milwaukee, and I'm so happy you had me on this show.
Oh, I'm glad to have you. So, we appreciate everyone's support. Please like and subscribe. See you next time on Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders. Thanks for listening to another episode of Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders. Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders is brought to you by Cooking Secrets for Men, LLC, and was recorded in the 3rd Ward in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We feature and profile community leaders who are trying to make Milwaukee a better place. The tagline is, serious people with serious jobs having a little fun. Our guests choose the recipes that we use on the show. All of our podcasts are available on iTunes, Spotify, and wherever you get great podcasts. The original YouTube video for this episode is available on our YouTube channel, Cooking Secrets for Men, all rights reserved. Thanks, and see you next time on Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders.